later. Okay. And we welcome you in courtside here in Long Beach, California for our third match today, as it is the Inland Empire Matadors, perhaps the biggest surprise in the NVA this season, 2-1 overall, taking on the expansion Philadelphia Founders. They are looking for their first ever victory in NVA play. Now you'll notice this chair over here is unoccupied right now. We had to give Nick England the match off due to labor laws. And Matt Prosser is not available today outside of coaching. So I'd like to unveil our surprise analyst, and it is Noah Chast for the first time ever joining us here in the booth. And that means Haley Henderson is riding solo on the sideline, all kinds of trouble that she could cause today. So Noah, first of all, happy to have you on this side of the table for the first time. I guess you and me, we're going to have to be a team here and bring the fans some exciting volleyball between a Matadors squad, which has taken everybody by surprise, and a Founders squad that is starting to emerge as a developing program that is going to be a factor in the second half of the year.
Absolutely. First of all, happy to be joining you here on the desk. I love it out there on the sideline, but happy to be a part of this broadcast here at the booth. That's what I love about this team. We have so many integral members that can kind of pivot and go different places. We have Haley, who, if you didn't meet her yet, you'll meet her this match. She's fantastic. And then Ira, Matt, and Nick, of course. We can all do a little bit of everything, and that's what makes this product so great here at the NVA. As you mentioned, this Matadors team, the surprise of the league, but they've mentioned to me Cesar Medina, not a surprise for them. They know they're good. They know what they can bring, and maybe just their measurements on their roster might make you think otherwise, but they're a very talented team with a lot of national team experience and a lot of fight to them. Philadelphia Founders have that, and I've said this in our pregame show, if there's any match that this Founders team on paper should win or have the advantage of, it's this one. But as this Matadors team have shown us that they're not taking any size for granted, and they're going to give everyone a run for their money.
And for some additional information on today's matchup, we'll send it to the sideline to Haley Henderson with some insight for today's match.
Thanks, guys. Matadors are super ready to get this game underway and ready to end the weekend 2-0. For the Founders, we have Langston Payne, number 15, back in the middle. He was a previous Southern Exposure player. Wasn't here yesterday, but I talked to him. He said he's ready to go. Super excited to play today. So back to you guys.
Thank you, Haley. And, well, the teams have taken the court. They are ready to go. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. And since you mentioned Langston Payne, that is going to give them a great compliment in the middle to go alongside Nate Reynolds, who has certainly made his presence felt as one of the top newcomers/rookies in the league. Langston Payne, anything but a rookie, former George Mason great, played the last few years for Southern Exposure. As we saw in the last match with Eddie Michigan, now the man of the match for the Stunners. The previous Southern Exposure has mostly scattered across the league to new homes. Langston Payne going to get the start today. He wears number 15. He will be on the other side of Nate Reynolds in the middle. It is Peter Namiatko, the former NJIT grade, who I know really, really well because I am the primary play-by-play announcer in New Jersey for college volleyball, so I've known Peter forever. He'll be opposite Jeff Nelson on the outside, and the ball will be in the hands today of, let's take a look at the libero first. Jordan Robinson, somebody else who I know very well.
Jordan Robinson, you know him very well.
He's
getting
the head
start today.
Women's volleyball coach at New Jersey City University, where I work. But also looking at the rest of the lineup, Ron Dunn's going to be setting today, of course. And the last person in the lineup, Michael Lewis, will be number 19 alongside Jeff Nelson. That's your starting lineup for the Philadelphia Founders, looking for their first win. Meanwhile, for the Matadors, I mean, every match so far that they've won has been Cesar Medina, number 10, as their man of the match. He had 17 kills in the last outing.
He's a dog.
Yeah, he is a dog, absolutely.
And I mean that. He has carried his team and really put that point of emphasis in that pressure and that intensity has gone through him all the way as the first serve gets underway here for the Founders.
Eric Valise is the libero today, number 12. The rest of the lineup, we'll take you through it real quick. Isaac Oliva's on the right side, number 50. Cesar Medina on the outside. Also be joined on the outside by number 7. That is Jimmy Montez. Rest of the lineup is number 23. That is Ricky Olia in the middle. And Orlando Rojas will slide from the outside to the middle today. He's an undersized middle, but you know what, we've seen, if anything, with the Matadors, that size truly does not matter. We said that in the pregame show. They find ways to win.
Yes, they do, and already finding ourselves some controversy 1 point in. I believe the ball was hit out by the Matadors, but they're challenging if there was, or questioning if there was a touch or a net touch on this play. So 1 play into the game, we already have some discussion going on and conversation with our officials and amongst the teams.
That's 2 coaches talking to each other you saw there. It was Patrick Badia, the head coach for the Philadelphia Founders, alongside Andrew Lee. Jordan Robinson, number 16 in libero. He is the head coach of the NJCU women's volleyball team. Carlo Edra, who is the head coach of the New Jersey Freedom, is the head coach of the NJCU men's team. That's probably the only college in the country right now, and I can say this because I work there as the chief communications officer, where both of your head coaches are working with the pros.
So it sounds like we don't have video. We don't have the shot they're looking for this play.
So we are learning that the replay booth has had a malfunction. That works for us. So they're going to be able to pull some footage. We're not going to be able to show it on the air. So we'll have to survive, and we'll have to trust what, well, we're told actually happened.
And we are getting the feed up here right now live, and just to put on my Nick England hat, I don't know if I agree with the timing of this challenge.
I thought we weren't going to have it.
They're surprising us. We got tons of surprises everywhere. I'm surprising here at the desk. They're surprising over there with the feed on the screen.
That was Patrick Bradley in the R1 chair. Our down ref for this one is Rebecca Johannes. Melvin Otley, Rena Smith are on the lines for the Founders and the Matadors. Hey, we had a challenge on the first play of the game. It's only up from here.
And a successful one. So, hey, I don't agree with the timing, but it worked out in their favor. They were confident in it, and they got the ball and the point.
So 1-0 Matadors. They are 2-1 in the year. They are the only team other than the Texas Tyrants to beat the Las Vegas Ramblers in the last 2 years. Think about that.
And that's a Rambler team that, after yesterday's match, looks like one of the top-tier contenders in this league. And they took them down, that same roster, in 5 last event. So they are showing their prowess in this league.
Of course, they play the unbeaten New Jersey Freedom tomorrow, what's going to be a barn burner. Dunn couldn't get the touch, so credit to kill from the right side there by Medina, who will drop back to serve.
That is the first of many Medina kills we will be seeing this match for sure.
Medina yesterday in a 3-1 victory over the Pythons had 17 kills, 36 swings. He had a lot of opportunities and he delivered on basically half of them. They're going to go right side here. And the block for the Founders.
Looks like that was Payne in the middle.
Langston Payne getting his first outing here for Philadelphia.
Teaming up with Michael Lewis on that block.
And smashed down in the middle for the Matadors, Orlando Rojas.
Rojas may be an undersized middle, but he can fly, and he is clever with the ball, tooling it off the block on that play.
And into the net. We said that Eric Valise was going to be the L1 for this one, but their libero 2, which is Anger Mizes Feliz, he has actually been out on the court, number 13. Now just keep an eye on him defensively. Here's Peter Namiatko. Blocked back, quick reaction, run down, and it's sent over Medina after the save by Jimmy Montez. And the Founders finding a rhythm early. They lead by 1.
And that's where the Founders like to run their offense, Ira, through Nate Reynolds. He is far and away the focal point of this offensive attack for Philadelphia.
And as he should be, an All-American at Springfield College, which has been not only one of the top programs in Division III for basically 30 years, but a team that until recently because there really weren't enough quality D3 programs to play against, used to play majority of their schedule against the top D1s on the East Coast. I mean, they used to play Penn State, NJIT, Princeton on a regular basis.
And it certainly helps forge a hard-working culture there.
Charlie Sullivan, the head coach at Springfield, one of the top coaches in college volleyball history. Maybe may not have as big of a name as the Al Skates and some of the other all-time greats, but trust me, Charlie Sullivan's done special things up in Springfield, Mass. And that's just long. And here's Montez to serve. Done. And a smash down on the outside by Jeff Nelson.
And Ira, you might have the stats in front of you. Jeff Nelson nearly perfect in his match on Friday. Almost unstoppable. Didn't get most of the sets, but the ones he did, for majority of the time, he put them away.
First match of the week, it was a 3-1 win for Texas over the Philadelphia Founders. But again, that's a match that could have gone either way. Philadelphia, they pushed Texas in that third set, lost 28-26. That ends up the other direction. Well, that goes a fifth set, and that wakes up everybody in the lead. Namiaka brings it back. Nelson swinging away, covered by the Matadors. And then Langston Payne already showing why he's going to make a difference out there as it's sent over. Done to Payne. Going to come back for Nelson. And he dumps it into a useful spot.
And Langston Payne adding so much to this Philadelphia attack, making sure there's no really off points when Reynolds is off the court or in the backcourt. Keeping the blocking defense honest up there for the Matadors.
Reynolds had 9 kills against the Tyrants along with 4 blocks. Namiaka had 14 kills. Nelson finished with 12, and that's long. And the Founders have themselves a 2-point lead.
And if you've been watching the Founders and maybe believe in sports superstitions a little bit, you feel the Founders are too good to not have a win, and maybe they're due for one right here.
Ron Dunn, one of the several players who played at Kane University alongside Ian Kapp. And of course, as that one is smashed and dug up by Valise, Jordan Robinson chases this one down, but it's going to wildly sail out of play. Couldn't put it back into a playable spot.
Certainly not the second touch he was looking for. Sending a no man's land over by the end of the Philadelphia Founders bench.
But Jared Ray also, along with Ian Kapp, played with Ron Dunn at Kane. 3 pros produced by that program. Small college, well, not small, it's 20,000 students in Union, New Jersey. Small athletically, at least. Namiatko swinging away. Peter Namiatko, who played for Danny Goncalves at NJIT in the EIVA, played against Langston Payne in college, and also Johnny Gomez from Southern Exposure. Here is Jeff Nelson. And that's just daggers in the middle. The ability for an undersized middle, only 6'1" in Orlando Rojas to leap like that makes him dangerous as Cesar Medina will serve. 1-point deficit for the Matadors. Nelson with the pass. Blocked back, it's covered by Robinson. And Namiatko from the right side delivers. By the way, we talked about Nate Reynolds playing at Springfield. He actually spent his first 3 seasons at Stevenson University in Maryland, which until recent years was a top 5 perennial program. It's taken a step back in the last few, but he was a second-team All-American honoree in 2019. And Reynolds, however, reached out at a ball that was behind him. Probably should have let it go.
You're going to see a lot of that from the Matadors, just smart, crafty play, a lot of national team players on this roster, people who have played in the Dominican and the Mexican leagues, and they just know how to find points.
Dunn leaves it for Namiatko, and he tools the block.
Namiatko going to have the size advantage over some of these pin blockers on the Matadors, and it looks like he's exploiting it early, and he'll have to do it often if the Founders can pull out this win.
Reynolds, by the way, played 2 years at Springfield, but only one of them really counted because that 2020 season was thrown out with COVID. Only played 6 matches in 2021. And that will sail out of bounds. And the Matadors are back in it, down 1. As they will leave it for Isaac Oliva out of Hope International. This is his rookie year here in the NVA. A few players on the roster that are making their NVA debuts this season for the Matadors, who've been completely rebuilt. Nate Reynolds with the kill. Oliva's a rookie. Medina certainly going to be in the conversation if we do an all-rookie team this year. Maybe not rookie of the year. I think right now that's Jared Ray to lose. But Medina, if this team keeps winning, is going to be in the conversation.
Certainly.
And reached out and stuffed someone. Ron Dunn and Nate Reynolds down.
Ron Dunn wants you to include him in the conversation. We're talking about good blockers over there on the right side.
Christian Ventura, number 8, the setter. He's also a newcomer, nearly a second block in a row. Dunn's getting hands on everything, including that. From the back row, Peter Namiatko plants one. And the Philadelphia Founders have a 4-point lead.
And that sequence is all Ron Dunn right there, getting 2 block touches and then getting the off-blocker dig to keep that rally alive. And Namiatko finding the open floor.
4-point lead. Ron Dunn thought this was going to be a tactical timeout. Well, that'll come soon enough.
Stay on the floor, Ron. You're crushing it.
Namiatko to serve. That is blocked back. Swinging is the setter. Ventura delivers.
That's a setter who knows he needs a point for his team right now. Just turn and swing away.
Ventura, one of several products of Mexico on this Matador squad. Again, one of the multiple newcomers in the starting lineup. Orlando Rojas, also a first-year NBA player out of Colombia. Nelson with an answer. And at 15-11, now Ron Dunn can get a breath and a glass of water. As we'll take a break, set 1 here in Long Beach, much more to come. So Ron Dunn had a moment to get his thoughts together, and right now those are positive thoughts because his team is clicking on all cylinders. A Founder squad that started to, turn the corner yesterday against the Texas Tyrants, and now against a red-hot Matadors squad has them playing back on their heels as he serves, or Nate Reynolds serves, I should say, and leaves it short. So we will see if the Matadors are able to capitalize here. Ricky Olea, 6'4" middle blocker out of UCLA. his alma mater, playing for a national championship. And that is Payne putting one down.
Just sneaking it through and under the double block there in the middle. Not enough penetration from the two blockers of the Matadors on that swing.
Now Dunn serving. Medina gets in the kill column.
They're going to look to feed Medina to keep churning away some points to make up this 3-point deficit they face in set one. 13 serving 16.
UCLA and Hawaii playing for the national championship. UCLA took the first set 28-26. Try to give you some updates on that one as we pull along. That's happening back in New Jersey, in the East Coast.
Virginia, George Mason.
This is George Mason. If I was in New Jersey, I would be at that. But I'm here with you guys having fun. George Mason, of course, Langston Payne's home. And Peter Namiatko, who did that against George Mason quite a bit when he was in college at NJIT, delivers another kill.
And Ventura in the right spot defensively. Ball just came up a little bit high on him, and he caught it in the shoulder. Wasn't able to turn his arms to the side and get that dig.
And a timeout for the Matadors. They trail by 5. We'll take one as well. Back for more. So a 5-point lead for the Philadelphia Founders. They are seeking not only their first ever win, but their first ever point in the NVA in their 4th match as a franchise. Remember, you get 3 points for a win in 3 or 4 sets. 2 if it goes 5, as Namiatko slams another one through. And you get 1 point if you lose in 5. It's almost like an overtime loss in hockey. You get something for your troubles.
Exactly, and this Founders team have been competitive in every match, but haven't won a lot of sets. They've only won 1 set, actually, through 3 matches. So they haven't gotten any points pushing anything to 5 or getting a win.
Philadelphia started their journey with a 3-0 loss to the Utah Stingers. They lost to the San Diego Wild 3-0 in a battle of expansion teams before yesterday taking a set from the Texas Tyrants. And Jordan can't bring that one back, so a kill here for the Matadors. But they still trail by 5 as they hand it to Cesar Medina.
2-time man of the match thus far, finding ways to earn some points, going down the line, high hands on these defenders.
He turned 28 last month out of El Camino College here in California. Robson brings this one back. From the back row, they're trying to get Medina involved, and why not? He's your top weapon. Utilize him where you can. Good decision for Christian Ventura, their setter.
Clearly following the hot hand, Medina reliable through every match thus far and keeping it going his direction. Looks to keep it going from the service line.
So they cut it to 4. Going to come over on 1 and back in 1.
And another point generated by Medina. That jump serve creating the overpass, allowing his middle blocker to shove that to the floor.
And the Philadelphia Founders not going to let this one slip away without discussing it first. Timeout on the court. Back for more here in Game 1. back here, and we should alert you that there's a new middle here for the Matadors. It's Antonio Anguizzola, who used to play for the OC Stunners, actually. Last year was a backup for the runners-up here in the NVA. He's wearing number 16 out on the court. In his new home, he'll swing away and gets his name called.
And a second new home. You're not confused if you think you saw him in a Puerto Rico Pythons jersey last event through our social media. You did. He is now with the Matadors, switching teams here early in this season.
So he was traded to the Matadors for a first, second, and third round draft. No, just kidding. There's no draft here.
Cash compensation.
Well, yesterday was Cinco de Mayo, so maybe some beverages after the match compensation. Just kidding. That's only amongst the broadcast crew. The much needed side out here for the Founders. It'll be Langston Payne to serve. Full disclosure, Haley and friends invited us out last night for Cinco de Mayo, and Noah and I are so old that we decided just to go to sleep after a long day here in the gym.
We did. We thought about it hard. We said maybe we go out when we have a night, and then the bed said, you know what, just take it easy, pal.
We just can't hang anymore.
24 going on 54.
46 going on 95. Running this one down is Ventura. So much space to work with in this gym, and Anguizzola missing that one wide.
Matadors making quite too many hitting errors right here early, letting the game in this set get out of reach for them.
And they also want to discuss. So the final timeout here in set one for the Matadors. We promise to come back. See if the Matadors have a last gasp in them here in game number one. Langston Payne with the serve. Off the shoulder of Dunn, and they cannot save it. A little confusion there between Jeff Nelson and Langston Payne, trying to go for the same ball.
And this is something we see a lot in this league. While 4 points is nothing immeasurable to come back from, whether you win this set or not, get some positive momentum going into that second set. That's what the Matadors are trying to do, maybe get a little bit of a rally going. If not, come back and take the whole thing.
Here is number 9, James Valiendu, out of Fullerton College, coming in to serve. Reynolds got blocked, played it initially, went back to the Matadors, and they immediately put it down.
Anguizzola just slam dunking that one.
Yeah, and didn't have to really destroy it like in the hitting lines. Saw the whole line was open and went for it. And the deficit trimmed to 3. So still alive are the Matadors. That, however, too long. Jordan Robinson and his scrumptious mustache. How's that to sail wide?
Certainly up there for best mustache in the league.
Here's Peter Namiatko. Probably is the best mustache in the league. I can't think of anybody who's even close right now. Maybe Nate Reynolds.
Maybe Nate Reynolds.
Both on the same team. That's blocked back, can't be run down, and now the Founders have set point.
I'd say Robinson, his mustache, a little more old school, sort of that hoity-toity vibe to it, but still a very well-groomed mustache he keeps in good shape.
Did you just use hoity-toity live on a national broadcast?
I just used hoity-toity live on a national broadcast.
Wow, Peter Namiatko trying to close out game one. And he will. with the excuse powering off the tape. And the Philadelphia Founders in the win column in game one, 25-19, as they try to pick up their first win of the season and in their expansion history. Back for more game two coming up here in Long Beach. Join us then. And we're back here courtside, about to begin game number two. But before we do, we're going to send it over to Haley Henderson with a response.
Here with Eric Valise. He's one of the team captains for the Matadors. A couple questions for you. I saw you get inspirational with your team right there. What were you telling them going into the second set?
I was telling them to have some urgency from the jump. I think they're used to a lot of people that they're familiar playing with who are local. Some of the last few teams we played, we were familiar with the players. This team we were not familiar with, and I think that they're kind of filling them out, but instead of having the urgency to start strong, we took too long to get off and really give it back to them. So hopefully we start well from the jump in this second set, and we're able to come through with the win on this one.
Awesome. What adjustments are we hoping to see from your team?
Probably some more communication between our setter and our offense. Aside from that, I think we just really got to dig deep, and it needs to come from emotions instead of physical stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Haley. And, well, urgency is certainly something the Matadors need to play with as they find themselves in a 1-0 hole. We've seen they can play with anybody right now, so I don't think they're going to let one set phase them. However, Philadelphia Founders team that is beginning to found itself really as they continue to play together. They get better and better each match. Taking a set from the Texas Tyrants, that doesn't happen by accident.
No, and that is some great insight from Henderson and Valise that this is a team that they haven't really seen at all outside of maybe the film. I think that's a fascinating point that they've practiced or played against a lot of the other players from the teams they've beaten so far. This is all brand new to them, but that's what an elite team has to do. Face a team and respond to their strengths with your strengths.
So we're going to hand it to Ventura to serve here for the Matadors. Begin game number two. Ira Thornton, Noah Chest, and Haley Henderson.
I'll be interested to see if the Matadors come out with a greater sense of urgency, maybe keeping those errors down a little bit, spreading out that offense, and playing with a little bit more emotion and momentum.
And that is just wide by Namiatko, it looks like.
No, I think it actually was in, and
You
even
got hands.
Coach Farhad Zarif.
We got to move this monitor right in front of us, man. I can't see that net right there.
Well, Coach Farhad Zarif even being honest and saying, no, that was in, landed in front of my feet, caught the line. So some nice sportsmanship.
And there's an answer in the middle for the Matadors.
No need to beg for points when your middle can get up and do that for you.
At 6'1", Orlando Rojas.
Earning every inch of that bounce.
All right, so 1-1 game number 2. Founders took the first one, 25-19 in a set, I should say, where the Founders hit 60%, just one error, and it was on a block.
And a lucky roll there for Langston Payne. A bit of a mishit, a paintbrush as we call it in volleyball, just trickling over the net and over the blocker and dropping on the floor. Peter Namiako, the man so far for the Founders in that first set, 7 for 7 on the attack, leading his Founders.
Here's Nelson to serve. Goes after Anguzola. And a useful spot, but collected by a diving Dunn. They go to Medina in the back row. Just long.
And I believe that was actually Robinson that got in there and got under it, either for a pancake or just a completely flat up there.
Yeah, Robinson got the first touch. Dunn kept it off the court after the initial touch. And Nelson will continue to serve. It's 3-1.
The Founders with one of the best young liberos in Brian Lee, but Robinson, he is one of the better competitors and defensive athletes in this league as well, so no scrub back there for Robinson.
Certainly one of the veteran liberos. Knows where to be, how to cover balls, as Namiako down the line with the misfire.
I believe that's his first error of this set for Namiako.
A little bit of an excuse me swing there for Langston Payne, but he'll take it. He got the outcome he was seeking. Well, too hot to handle there for Medina.
And we do see that every once in a while in a long rally, maybe the ball is a little sweaty. It just slips through the hands of some of these players. So he'd like to say to you young kids watching, you ever have a ball slip through your hands? It happens at the pro level. It's part of the game. You move on, go to the next play.
Here's Langston Payne. That's why they have a towel for the ball. That one sails wide.
Sometimes they give it right back with a service ace, and all is forgotten and forgiven.
Can't be brought back. Nate Reynolds in the kill column. Reynolds in the first set today only swung 4 times, got a couple of kills. Also 2 blocks to go along with it. And 2-point lead here for the Founders. Namiako just misses the back corner.
And no surprise in that first set, the Founders leading the Matadors in block points 6-2. As we knew, they were the much taller, stronger blocking team coming into this match, and they're going to lean on that throughout these next few sets.
And too long by Anguzola.
Teams trading miss serves, maybe trying to up the pressure of their service a little bit and facing the consequences of that, possibly missing out or long sometimes. Part of the gamble.
On the back row, Anguzola getting a chance to swing away. One of the younger players in the league still, even in his second season. And certainly seeing what he's capable of doing. I'll take the ball out of Michael Lewis's hands after serving.
Anguzola a bit hidden in that stunner lineup last year since they have so much star power and talent, but he is a player that can make a difference and do some damage.
And for him, he had to find a new home this year if he hoped to get on the court, because tough to break through in that stunner middle. When Kevin Gear's your number 3 middle, it says how deep that middle posse is.
Looks like Medina of the Matadors in the net on that play. Point going Founders.
So 2-point lead, still Reynolds to serve. Good pass by Medina. They go to him, reach out and stuff someone. Langston Payne and Ron Dunn. Terminal time.
The presence of that block making itself known once again. Another block point for this Founders team. And Langston Payne getting busy in his first game of the season.
Too long. Aggressive take there by Reynolds. 8-6 Philadelphia. So back to their setter here in Ventura. That will find its way through on the swing by Nelson. 3-point lead now for the Founders. They took game one 25-19. That's too long. 12-4 here as the Matadors, you see Leva trying to tell everybody, all right, come on, calm down.
And
Get a side out here.
I'm not really seeing that urgency from this Matadors team. Everything seems a little bit laid back, and not, I would say laid back, but just not a lot of putting pressure on themselves that, hey, we can't make these errors. Seems like they're expecting something to come to them, but they really need to earn it.
After a win over Puerto Rico yesterday, maybe they've come in a little too overconfident, maybe taking Philadelphia a little for granted. Can't do that to anybody in the league this year, even the expansion teams with the talent influx into this league. Oh, they can beat you on any given day. And Philadelphia is seeking that win. They don't want to go 0-2 a second consecutive weekend. Oh, bombs away! Nelson, perfect set from Ron Dunn.
Jeffrey Nelson, maybe not the highest flyer or hardest hitter in this league, but he certainly does both of those things well enough to put balls to the floor, and is such a high percentage hitter when he gets set.
Lead is 4. Jordan Robinson lays out, gives Ron Dunn plenty of space to work with. Lewis gets blocked back. And Payne, I don't think he even touched it, so Ron Dunn, an accidental kill as that flew over the hands of Payne. I didn't see a touch.
I think he maybe grazed it. I mean, he was up there flying, but it didn't make any difference on the ball. It was going where that set was going, and that was over the net and just dropping right inside the 10-foot line.
Hey, Kenzie Shan, that's a kill for Ron Dunn. Mark that down. As they call over to our official scorekeeper and statistician for the NVA, who does it by herself. She never takes any time off.
Is that maybe the slowest setter dump you've ever seen then?
Well, Ron Payne just dumps down a kill, or a block, you should say, 1-on-1. His first solo of the season. And we're going to see a change here at setter. So that's going to be it for Ventura right now. They're going to bring in James Valanu, 6'4" out of Fullerton College. He came in the last set as a service substitution. And an ace! Nelson unleashes. The lead is 7, and Philadelphia running away with this second set.
Martine Patrice also in there on the double sub. He's listed as a middle blocker, but maybe just looking to get some more height, some more offense generated here with that substitution.
Another good serve there by Nelson. And Guizzola. And Patrick Bradley, I believe, is saying that there is a out of rotation.
No. What happened here is Anguizzola and Mesias Feliz, they both sort of passed the ball at the same time.
On the initial touch.
And Bradley's saying they hit 1, 2, and then a second touch, and then a fourth, or a third, and then fourth to put it over. When they believed it was either one of them had the first, and that was just one touch.
Well, I'm surprised that they didn't call it on the second one then, on the second touch, because if they both touched it 1-2, it was really hard to distinguish who initially had it. But either way, that point goes over to Philadelphia. They lead by 8, and they are well on their way to a 2-0 lead in this match when we return. Now the Philadelphia Founders are refusing to leave Long Beach, California empty-handed. And they are very well on their way to a 2-0 lead in this match. Jeffrey Nelson will continue to serve. Amira Thor, he's Noah Chest. Haley Henderson alongside. Nick England will rejoin us for the last match of the day at 6 p.m. as that set was off the mark and Leva could not bring it back.
Not a lot working for the Founders so far in this set. The passing not quite there, the setting placement not there, and some hitting errors trying to keep balls in play. Not doing a great job at that. Founders really winning on all aspects of the game at this point.
Nelson left that one short.
That might have been my first broadcaster jinx right there. Talking about the success of the Founders, and he serves it about 3 blocks short into the net.
Well, we'll know you truly arrived when you blow up a no-hitter. Looking for the touch, they get it, I heard it, and so did Philadelphia as they immediately respond. Lewis with the kill.
And no questioning or no disagreement from the Matadors. They felt it on their fingers as well.
Lead is 9. That is the largest lead Philadelphia has ever had in a set in their history. Langston Payne, big reason for their success today, but couldn't get the back corner there.
And we're starting to see this Founders team really come to form. They added Langston Payne, they got Peter Namiatko, and they possibly have Danny Pereshkovov coming in future events as well. So really adding some more offensive attacks and height to this already strong blocking and hitting team.
So that'll leave it here for Peter Namiatko, who out of Harrison High School in New Jersey was named the 2016 first team All-State and the North Jersey Player of the Year. And unleashes an ace to help carry his team to the 19th point. And that's going to be a timeout for the Matadors, who right now are seeking answers any way they can. Timeout here on the court. Back for more in Long Beach. See you soon. Back courtside. Philadelphia is just totally in control of this match right now.
And Ira, we were just discussing, if you're a Matadors fan, you can rightfully be upset with the effort and the body language on the court. I don't know if they put a lot more of their energy into that Puerto Rico Pythons match, but you're not seeing, it seems like 100% effort from these Matadors.
With a good serve by Namiatko. Oh, Jordan Robinson at least kept that one off the floor, but Antonio Anguizzola authority there. And he'll go back to serve. Namiatko led a Harrison High School program that had not been good in their history to start becoming a top 3-4 program in the state of New Jersey. A 37-5 record. They won their first ever state sectional title with him in the lineup. As Lewis puts that away. Stat that always popped off the page for me, his senior year, he had 512 kills in 44 matches. And remember, high school is best 2 out of 3. At least in New Jersey it is.
In Pennsylvania, it was 3 out of 5.
Oh.
So
in New Jersey, it's 2 out of 3.
Take your word.
Otherwise, my stats would have been much better, but probably wouldn't have blocks like that. Reynolds and Dunn take the Matadors to Rejection City.
And Nate Reynolds, a very subtle and casual 2 small gestures we've been seeing a lot in the NFL and NBA, putting his hand to the floor saying, just too small for me, pal.
The Matadors, let's see if they can get some height going when we come back from their last time out in game number 2. And we're back here courtside, Philadelphia, trying to finish what it started. Leva misses wide, 22-10. It's a 12-point edge. Philadelphia with the route going.
Looking for its first ever match lead as an NVA team. Either getting swept or getting a seconds at victory as they did on Friday. It's the first time they're ahead in a match. It could be up 2-0 in just a few points.
Too long.
Bit of a miss hit there off the hand. Not quite the miss hits of the Southern Exposure earlier, which are still traveling upwards and soaring through the sky. That one just a bit long and outside. Casey Hiller on the serve.
That's blocked back. Well, now Medina finally getting going here. It's be a little too late.
And again, these are energy points, right? Get your momentum going into that next set. If there is any team that has the capability and team camaraderie to do a reverse sweep, it's these Matadors, but Ron Dunn's catching them all sleeping, set or dumping it over to the campfire or donut or whatever you call it, middle of the court where no one's sitting.
Reynolds back to serve. Langston Payne back in. 2 away from a resounding set victory for Philadelphia. Pass by Medina. They're going to go back to Leva. I guess that's illegal to scoop, and that's going to clear the net for a moment until Martin Patrice did so. Did he get the net? He's saying he did.
I think he did. I mean, I thought that was a double on the dig. I know you're allowed to mangle it on first contact, but that hit his hands at separate times.
I mean, that's more than a mangle.
But it goes uncalled, and the net called.
He basically was swaddling the baby there.
Popped it up with the left hand and swiped it back with the right.
Either way, we got 12 set points here for Nate Reynolds. Angazola with the set. Philadelphia going to try to finish it here. Medina with the cover. And from the back row, Angazola in a useful spot.
Lewis with what I call the reverse pancake, when you lay your hand out there to pop it up and it just loses all momentum and it rolls off your hand.
Payne lays out to save it. And that will land on the line. The dig by Angazola. Philadelphia's going to win this set, but the Matadors, they ain't going away just yet.
And I see some smiles and energy from the Matadors team. Maybe that little dig kill is something to wake them up a little bit going into set 3.
And that one hits his teammate in the back of the head. And game number 2 belongs to the Philadelphia Founders, 25-14. They are 1 set away from their first win as members of the NBA. Set 3 coming back. Join Noah and I for more. Courtside here in Long Beach, California, as the Philadelphia Founders making a statement, hitting 62% as a team right now, and an offense that's been pretty well spread out. Yeah, Peter Namiatko has 8 kills so far in 9 swings, hitting 89%, but he hasn't been alone. They've got 11 total block points right now. Ron Dunn is leading an offense that is just playing in all cylinders right now. Nate Reynolds has 3 blocks as well, and we're going to send it over to Haley Henderson with the head coach of the Philadelphia Founders in Patrick Padilla.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with head coach Patrick Padilla. You guys are 2-0 so far. Kind of ran away with it in that second set. What was your guys' preparation going into today's match?
Serving aggressive just like we did yesterday. We're really staying together. Like, I really feel like we're playing as a team. The hitters are really connecting well with our setter Ron. So everything's just really connecting defensively, offensively wise. So we're just really playing together, like just focusing on what's happening on our side.
Are we going to see any adjustments with the lineup for the third set, or are we going to keep the same guys in?
I'm gonna DJ on the other opposite of shot and see what he got, and if things go all right, I'll put Peter back in because I know I can trust him. But I trust with the lineup that we have that's going in, we could take the match.
Perfect. Thank you. Good luck. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Haley. And yeah, Philadelphia Founders have learned a little bit about themselves in the loss yesterday to the Texas Tyrants, but adding Langston Payne to the lineup completely changes everything. A veteran middle in this league, a player who had a lot of success at the collegiate level. And right now, I don't know what you do if you're the Matadors. They just can't seem to get in a groove.
Absolutely not. And talking to Coach Patrick Padilla yesterday after their loss to the Tyrants, he said we just need to figure out how to win. We're playing well. We're in these sets. And when they get tight and contentious, they sort of not fall apart, but they let it slip away. And that's just the experience and camaraderie as a team playing together at this high NVA level. And certainly these 2 first set wins will be good for gaining that experience. But now they have the new challenge of closing a match. They have the advantage up 2-0, plenty of room to work with, but they can't let it slip away. And again, if there's any team that could come back from what we've seen so far this season, it is the Matadors.
Yeah, but right now I just don't see Philadelphia. They're playing with so much confidence. This is kind of what they needed, a moment like this.
A win like this, if they can take this in 3, is huge for a winless team, a new team in terms of that confidence and that ability to know we can go play anyone in this league and we can compete and we can take sets, we can take matches. I mean, this is a Matadors team that beat the Ramblers. So it just shows the parity of this league.
Outside of maybe New Jersey right now and Texas. Seem to be the 2 top teams. Is that will be a kill for Medina. They've had difficulty getting him involved. Medina, through the first 2 sets, only has 4 kills. He's been in the high teens in every match he's played this year, hitting 29%. They basically have taken him out of the match.
Right, that might be the ability of the block of the Founders. 14 attempts for Medina and only those 4 kills.
That was probably out of bounds, but they had to play it. Comes back to Philadelphia's side. Nelson swinging away, no touch. Point for the Matadors, who have themselves the early lead. Dunn leaves it for Nelson. Oh, and he plants one on the floor. So Nelson gets the much-needed side out. Here's Nelson to serve, 2-1. Cross up again. Not a double, though, so they can do another touch. Nearly falls to the floor, then Payne puts it on the floor. And we're even at 2. We apologize for the microphone bouncing around a little bit. We have a spillage courtside. This is why I can't take Noah anywhere.
I've had 2 coffee spillages courtside in my 2 years here, so I really got to get it together.
By the way, did you see how high that ball was as Finally, Medina getting in a rhythm from the back row, put it down, but that ball went about as close to the roof as we've seen so far since we've been here. I mean, gosh, had we been in our old facility last year in San Bernardino, I mean, that thing is ricocheting off the roof, takes out a light, takes out somebody's windshield.
Really, in most facilities, it's getting some sort of contact off the roof, but plenty of room here to work with.
They go to the back row. Jeff Nelson wants that one back.
Swing and a miss for the Founders.
Too long. Langston Payne to serve, down by 1. Anguizzola down the line. Oh, what an answer. Puerto Rico's loss could be the Matadors' gain. I think Anguizzola ties the record for the most teams that somebody has played for in their short history of the NVA. There's a couple members of the New Jersey Freedom who actually played for the Texas Tyrants back in Tennessee Tyrants. We're going way back into the dark ages of the early days of the NVA. Then he later played for Chicago before joining New Jersey. Ian Cap was among those players and has a nice home in New Jersey now.
Tennessee Tyrants, one of the first teams I ever watched as an NBA fan.
Locked off the court as Jimmy Montez gets involved. I forgot about the Tennessee part of the Tyrants.
There's a hilarious picture out there of Ian Cap, Ryan Alou, and Jake Milnazic in their Tennessee Tyrants uniforms, and none of those players are on that team. Nor does that team exist in that fashion anymore.
Oh, I think they're doing just fine in Texas. As that's set into net, Dunn, Reynolds, miscommunication there. They cannot allow the Matadors to get going here in Game 3 because we know their ability to take over a match once they get some confidence going. Right now, they don't have it. It could come back just like that as Montez serves away too long.
And on these misconnections, I don't know if it's taking your foot off the gas or maybe trying to press it too hard and get a little too creative and tricky and force things that maybe in a tighter match you wouldn't try.
Here's Lewis to serve. Left short. Good serve from the Matadors side. What a dig by Montez. And now a step back by Medina. And a collision between Robinson and Lewis. Kick save and a beaut, but that's 4 touches. And the long rally ultimately ends.
And the defense of these two sides we expected coming in starting to show itself a little bit more in this set. The Founders and the Matadors never saying die and keeping every ball up that they can, even if they're colliding with their own teammates.
Here is Reynolds to serve. Crisp pass. Medina swinging away. Oh, and he misses.
Searching for that 4-to-4 cut shot and just cut it a little bit too hard, missing it wide on the right side of the court.
Too long. And into the net, so side out back to Philadelphia, who's now cut it to 1. Matadors had a chance to open this up. No, they were up by 3. Listen, as you said, they're capable of a reverse sweep. We saw how they were able to mount a comeback to shock the Ramblers, but they can't allow a 3-point lead to evaporate. Get one back here. Medina kind of standing on his flat feet there, able to get the high hands. 2-point lead now, 10-8. Medina will see if he can get some offense from behind the service line.
This is a key for them. They had 2 missed serves since they were up by 3 points, allowing this to get as close as it is. They need to take advantage of this service attack.
Robinson lays out for it. Oh, down the line, Nelson delivers. Can't leave him unblocked.
Had the solo blocker in Anguizzola, could have cut it cross, but decided I'll just put it down the line in front of your face. What a bounce ball.
They go. Montez, he was looking for the hands there of Payne, couldn't connect. Sails long, and my oh my. New set here, it's 10-10.
Matadors let that small lead slip away from them. This is a chance where the Founders can take it and roll with it.
Montez again, reach out and stuff someone. Oh, authority there from Payne.
The Philadelphia Founders, the kings of abnegation this match. Absolutely renouncing and rejecting everything from the Matador side.
That's a big word right there, young man. Penn State did you well.
Oh, yeah.
That one nearly decapitates the Matadors in Miesifilas.
And Payne.
Payne is bringing it.
They do it again. Another stuff block from Payne in the middle, along with Lewis on the outside, letting nothing go by for this Matador team.
By the way, on the first block, have to give partial credit there for number 18, Fagata, because he was involved in it. It was mostly Payne, but Fagata doesn't happen without his presence cutting off the line.
Angata?
Yeah, what you said. Bless you. Everybody's got their crux in life. Mine is Samoan names. Nelson, here is Medina chasing it down, dumped over. And there's an answer. Big time one-on-one block for Jimmy Montez.
Montez giving the Founders a taste of their own medicine, stuffing that ball back to the floor on the Philadelphia side.
Payne gets blocked back. All right, for now, that's going to be a kill for Langston Payne. I don't think it cleared the net.
So it's difficult to say. The shaking of the net was the ball. That was ball contact with the net. He may have reached over slightly.
I think he reached over before it reached that side of the net. It's not going to be challenged here
I
by
think
the Matadors.
part of the ball broke the plane of the net just enough where he made a good legal play on it.
Well, we'll never know now. That's blocked back, kept alive by Feliz. Philadelphia getting touches on everything right now. How do you avoid them? You don't. Lewis, Reynolds, just putting up walls.
It is a full-on block party on Broad Street right now.
Payne trying to extend the lead to 3, too long. I think it was a foot fault anyway.
It might have been a foot fault either way, so double miss on that one. Still only counts for 1 point for the Matadors.
I mean, Langston Payne's like 6'5". He's probably wearing a size 15. It's hard to keep off that line sometimes. My son wears a size 15. The shoes are so expensive.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, told him to stop growing. Cost me money. That's left short. 15-13 is the score in favor of the Philadelphia Founders, looking for their first ever victory in the NVA. They're 10 away from it when we return from our technical timeout. It's 15-13 Philadelphia. Agata will serve here. And Elvin Otley needs a new ankle.
Some leagues, that's a yellow card. Can't hit the ref like that.
And he just smiles it off. He's a professional.
He's a good guy, too.
Spent a lot of time in the New Jersey, Philadelphia area, too. Talking about that the other day. Was that put down by Smith?
That was Lewis, I believe, over there on the outside. Lewis now back to serve. Puts in a float.
They go to Medina. If he doesn't get going, they have no shot. Puts one down there. If I'm the Matadors, I'm giving him every other ball right now, if not all of them, because you need somebody who's going to take over this match. He's the one apt for the job.
Well, and that's the key hour. You can do one of two things. You need Medina to step up and be the man we've seen him be, or someone else on the floor needs to step up and take over in their respective position. But I don't know who else it would be.
As that one is dropped in front of Montes. The only one in this match who's showed the capability of doing that is Agazola. And he just, to me, doesn't have the killer instinct that a Medina has. They trail by 2. That's Reynolds back there to serve. Montez, good pass. They're going to go, of course, to Medina. And he's going to get exactly what they needed, was a kill.
And we keep waiting for that kill or that play that sparks the energy here for the Matadors. I don't know if that was the play. A little bit of a stare down from Medina after that one. Very casual, nothing too intense. Is that something that pushes the Matadors to more of a fight here?
Into the net, Dunn pulls it out, and then Payne swinging away. What a dig by Feliz. Crafty, but run down. Nelson, reach out and stuff someone. Agazola. What a block there as he teams up in the middle with Ricky Olea.
And that might be the play. Tying it up at 17, a huge stuff block. Can they ride this momentum and pull out a third set victory?
Jordan Robinson takes that one. Nelson, that one's going to be popped back over. Good play there to cover it by Ventura. Nelson wants a second one, but he clips the antenna.
And that's a play where I would have gone with the middle set to Langston Payne. I know they used him to draw the middle blocker away, but I think that's one with a free ball like that, you give it to your middle.
And the Philadelphia Founders not going to let this slip away without a discussion. They call timeout, and we'll be back for more in a moment here in game number 3. Well, this is a match where the Philadelphia Founders have, pun intended, found themselves. Question is, can they win this in 3? They had a 2-point lead. Matadors have retaken it now at 1. And right away, a side out after the timeout. Had to have it, and Langston Payne puts it away.
They may have heard me over here in the broadcast booth saying set the middle, and that's their first play they ran out of the timeout. So you know what? I'm going to take credit for that point in the stat sheet. That's a Noah Chast point right there.
Well, we've seen your tryout with New Jersey, so we know that you're able to score points. Ron Dunn, great set. Agazola swinging wide. Is there a touch? Patrick Bradley says no, no. And Philadelphia 2 straight now since the timeout. Philadelphia scores another one here. I would expect a Matador timeout. Try to slow this roll.
And a well-timed timeout by Patrick Padilla.
Dunn with the serve. Olius, he misses wide. 3 in a row for Philadelphia. I believe they think there's a touch, so we're going to go to a replay. What we have the challenge system for.
From my viewpoint, I did not see the touch they're looking for. It looked like there was an attempt to really cut it, and it never curled back in or curved back into the court. They're claiming it's because that hit off a finger or a hand. And again, from my vantage point, I did not see that, but let's see what the replay says about it.
I don't see a touch there.
To me, it looks like it's over the arms and hands of Langston Payne. But they'll rewind it back a little bit to show us exactly. Yeah, I don't think that got him at all.
They're going to slow down. Yeah, that's over his fingers.
Yep.
I mean, I get it. If you're the Matadors right now, you got the challenge system for a reason. Why not use it? Try to save your spot in this match. But I don't think they're going to win this challenge.
No. And it is an understandable reason, right? You're down 0-2. It's 2018. This is a big swing if you get it. But I think the evidence is clear as day that there is no touch and the call will stand. Well, they're taking another look at it, checking some different angles. So making sure they're covering all their bases up there in the replay center. Our hardworking broadcast and production team. So another alternate view. Should tell us a lot. Don't see any finger bend. They're looking at that right hand. I think it goes up in between. I don't see any touch, but they're really doing their due diligence, a critical point in the match.
And it was no touch. Philadelphia wins the point. Going to do a substitution here. Ventura out. And the Matadors will bring back in at the center spot, number 9, James Valinu. Answer there from Oleu.
Well, Valenu comes in off the bench and wastes no time connecting with his offensive attackers. No rust seeming there.
Ricky Oleu with the kill. It's a 1-point deficit. Robson with the pass. They're going to go right side. Nelson finds it right between Medina and Valenu. And the lead is back to 2. Nelson, your server. But his serve will have to wait until this conversation. The Matadors use a timeout. 21-19. 4 points away. Philadelphia is from victory when we return. There's Jeff Nelson thinking about this next serve. Payne and friends get hands on that, but it comes back to the Matador side. And that's a timely kill there for Jimmy Montez after the block back by Payne and Lewis couldn't be terminalized.
Montez, a relatively casual line shot, just sort of turning it over his shoulder and putting it to where none of the defenders were.
Payne with a quick answer.
And we're seeing in this set, Matadors and Founders now start to go sort of punch for punch with each other, but it's too little too late for the Inland Empire Matadors to do this at this point in the match, down 0-2.
And Philadelphia was into the net, and the point goes over to the Matadors. (22-21), a chance to tie here for the Matadors. They go to Montez, and he's able to tie it up. 22-22.
And Ira, I think this is a great moment for the growth of the Founders. As we mentioned, they're still learning how to win as a team and how to win in this league. This is a point where they're up 2-0. They have plenty of time. They don't want to let it slip away from them. Tied at 22s. Can they figure out a way to shut the door and not let this team crawl back?
Lewis with an answer as he plants one just in front of Medina. So now Philadelphia can take a sigh for a moment. Hand the ball to Agata, and he'll serve it away. Remember, they're doing this without Peter Nemiatko on the floor, who could have been our man of the match.
He was a leading scorer through 2 sets.
Off the net, Dunn goes up, and that slipped down. Good spot on the line, taking advantage of the overpass. 23-23, it's a race to 2. And now Medina's in the front row. Montez, your server. Tracked down here by Valenu. They leave it for Medina. Oh, Jordan Robinson with the dig of all digs. And another one for Robinson, but it won't matter because the Founders are into the net.
Robinson, 2 fantastic digs, clutch and timely digs in the right spot. Hard cross by Medina in the middle attack, but then they have a net violation to give the Matadors set point.
Timeout Philadelphia, set point for the Matadors when we come back. Set point here for the Matadors. Philadelphia trying to win in 3. And they will stay alive with a timely kill here. Michael Lewis hasn't been the most involved in the offense today, but the 27-year-old just tied it at 24-24 and will drop back to serve. Extra points here in game 3. And Medina, the guy who had to have the ball in his hands, gets it. So set point number 2 here. Adversity for the Founders. Orlando Rojas will serve for the set. Oh, destruction! Reynolds! Jeffrey Nelson, I should say. It's Nelson with the big smash.
Reynolds pulling the blocker there in the middle run, and Nelson cutting it cross hard.
Yeah, Jeff Nelson just dropped a hammer there. 25-25. Now it's Reynolds to serve. Pushes Payne to the front row. But he left it just short. Set point number 3 coming up for the Matadors. Here is James Valendu.
Came in to set. What can he bring from the service line with the set and the match on the line?
Dunn goes back to Nelson, had the stutter step, got blocked, comes back. They have to just free it over, and they crossed up their signals. And the Inland Empire Matadors survived game number 3, 27-25, and we will play a 4th set. Philadelphia had it in their grasp, but let it slip away.
An extremely untimely miscommunication between Fatangata and Ron Dunn. Not sure who was going to take it over, and it took Ron grabbing it late, and he couldn't get it over the net, and we're going more sets.
Got to be the setter's ball there. Some miscommunication there, and well, we'll see how Philadelphia grows from that. If Inland Empire Matadors win this 4th set coming up, they're probably going to take this match. And a reverse sweep is what they seek when we return to Long Beach, California. will play on. A fourth set ensues. Philadelphia had their first ever win in their grasp, but just couldn't close the fist. And a 27-25 victory for the scrappy Inland Empire Matadors.
And the Founders have put back in Pio Namiotko, so going with their original set 1 and set 2 lineup.
And that's too long, so we'll see if this winning combination from earlier in the day is enough to close it out.
And there's that tough balance as a coach when you want to get some other guys in and get those reps, especially when the match is going well. But sometimes you feel like you're putting your foot off the gas and you can let a team sneak back up on you. And it's hard to know when to put in those guys. I'm going to take them out. But you know when Medina's going up and he's swinging like that, he's giving his team a chance every single time. Puts that ball to the floor.
He definitely cleaned it up in that last set where he had 5 kills in the third set. He's got 10 now for the match. Got his hitting percentage up to about 40%. Probably succeeding that now after that swing. A 1-1 game 4. Matadors win this. We head to the 5th. Payne left it short. Probably the first time today, other than the done set that landed for a kill on the other side, that he and Payne misconnected there on that middle combo.
Right, a first misconnection that resulted in the opponent's points from those two.
Goes back to Nelson. Medina with the dig. Robinson's going to come over on 1. They don't decide to swing at it. And that's blocked back, but well defended by Feliz. And that's blocked down. Langston Payne, Peter Namiotko, the former EIVA opponents, now on the same side. Got to give a shout out to Anger Mieses Feliz, number 13, libero for the Inland Empire Matadors. He is having a heck of a match defensively, covering almost everything in his perimeter. And Alea with an answer.
And this is the exact reason why if you're the Founders, you can't let a set like set 3 slip away from you, because that gives the team you're facing confidence and momentum. And we've mentioned it multiple times on this broadcast. A Matadors team with both of those things is a dangerous team.
Langston Payne. Alea swings at that, keeps it alive. Dug up by Nelson. Lewis rolls at it. And that can't be saved off the net. Double contact from the Matadors. Anguizzola saying he didn't double contact that. And I don't believe that's going to be challengeable.
I don't think it will be. And it looks like we have some information from our sideline reporter, Haley Henderson. Haley, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I just spoke with Faga'a, the opposite hitter for the Founders. I talked to him about that last set. Just asked what happened there. He said that they honestly tried to play it a little safe, got a little comfortable. He felt like they were doing what they were regularly doing, but just trying to play it a little safe so they could try and win it, just like they did the first set. So yeah, he just said this next set they're going to try to take a couple more risks and just try to swing harder at a few places more deep into the court to try to challenge the other side's defense. Thank you for that, Haley. Medina gets the dig off the attack from Reynolds. This one's not coming back, however.
And in a league like the NVA, when you play with a little bit more hesitancy and safety and just say, hey, I'm going to do enough to win, that'll sometimes put you at the disadvantage because the level of talent is so high. You have to give it everything you have at all points through the match.
So here's Anguizzola. 5-3 lead. Matadors trying to bounce back. Comes over on 2. In the back row, Medina this time left it short. What a save there by Feliz.
Just a one-hand stab.
And not the biggest player out there, but his heart gigantic. And he dives out of the way of that one as Namiatko misses long.
Mises Feliz making his presence and effort known here on the court. The one-hand stab, serve, receive, dig, and then doing his best matrix impression, letting that ball sail long.
This is a team built from both Latin, South American, and even Caribbean players. Feliz is Dominican. I think he's the only Caribbean player in the starting lineup. But man, he is making his presence felt.
Team coming from a lot of different volleyball cultures and backgrounds, but have one thing in common, and that's passion for the game and a desire to win. And I think that's been awoken in them in these past couple sets as they tool that swing off the hands of Ron Dunn.
Yeah, Medina yet another kill. That's now 13 for him. And they will hand the ball back to Orlando Rojas. See if they can add to a 2-point lead. Nelson, that's an answer. Jeffrey Nelson is in double figures in kills now. He will lead the Founders. Of course, he did play an extra set.
As opposed to Pio Namioko.
Here's Nate Reynolds. Too long. Nelson, man, he is coming out of nowhere to take over this match now. Peter Namiatko was that guy. Came out, got a break so they could obviously look at another right side hitter. Nelson hasn't missed a beat this entire time. I mean, initially, didn't think he'd be in the man of the match conversation, but if they pull this out, there's about 4 guys on that side who certainly need to be in the conversation, including Langston Payne, who just got a touch on it. They go to Namiatko. Don't forget about me, friends.
All the conversation. Nelson, you can see it in his demeanor and in the way he's playing right now. He does not want to let this first match win slip away from them. Doing whatever he can, putting the team on his back to keep this win in their grasps.
8-8. Ron Dunn had a heck of a match at setter. He serves it away. Jordan Robinson just couldn't keep it in front of him. Got the hands on it.
He was crashing in for what he thought would be either a tip or a chip ball. Came in a lot hotter than he expected and just tried to throw his hands up and keep it alive, but sent it over the net and out of bounds.
Robinson able to play that one. Dunn to Namiatko. He left it short. They're saying there's a touch. They're going to play on here.
If this doesn't go the way of the Matadors, I would challenge.
Dunn able to collect it here. They leave it for Nelson. In the back row, Medina. Long rally that could be for naught. Well, they don't need to challenge that. Montez shuts it down. Jimmy Montez with his second block of the match.
And he lets his coach keep that challenge in his pocket. Says, no need, I'll just earn the point, the old-fashioned way.
That probably feels better anyway.
I think so. But so does validating that you were right. So who knows?
Everybody wants to be right, you know. However, you know, if your wife is wrong, you don't tell her that, so let her be right. Other than that, you can be right the rest of the time.
I was going to say except left-handed people, but you went a different direction. That's okay.
Left and right are 2 different directions.
We're going down a dangerous pun road right now.
Nick England would be proud of your punness. Well, the towels are out. You can tell it's the 4th set when the towels are out because guys are hitting the deck.
Guys are falling, they're working hard, they're getting that hard-working sweat all over the court. Need for a little cleanup, a little bit of timeout, just to take that off the court and get some dry, playable surfaces out there.
Always prefer the hard-working sweat. Gotta earn that.
Oh, yeah.
Lee's another great pass. And towing the block one more time is Montez.
So it's hard to decipher if the Founders team is getting less disciplined in the penetration and placement of their block, or if the Matadors are starting to figure this team out a little bit more and using that craftiness and that experience to tool them and swipe it off of their hands.
And Lewis able to tool the outside of the block. 11-10 now, 1 point lead for the Matadors as Langston Payne. Volleyball is his first sport, but now that he lives in Central Florida nearly full time, he has become an avid golfer. Told me yesterday that he actually had to, as an extra ball comes on the court, that he had to get custom-made golf clubs because at 6'5", just couldn't get something to his liking in terms of fitting.
Ones in the store probably don't fit him.
No.
Probably made for us regular people.
Yeah, that's regular. I mean, listen, I don't like my own clubs as a regular-sized person. So at 6'5", I can't even imagine. He's the same height as my son, who's 6'5", who just bought his own custom clubs online.
I was going to say, don't let him get into golf.
And that's put away by Namiatko. And my son's a lefty, so that makes it double hard.
So he's not always right.
No, he's very. He was definitely a defensive middle blocker, I can tell you that. And Guzzola swinging away, drops that in front of Nelson, who's defending deep.
And this second half of set 3 and the start of set 4 is much more what we were expecting going into this match. Sort of a grudge match, a lot of defense, a lot of tools off the block, and a lot of offensive integrity and pride.
Nelson, correction, Reynolds that was. He missed wide, but I believe there was a touch. And the Matadors are going to challenge this one.
Yep, call on the floor was a touch. I didn't see it, but I didn't have a great view, look or view at it. They are challenging that touch call.
So they're saying that the Matadors actually were into the net is what the call is here. So not a touch, it's a nut touch rather.
And they're challenging that they were not in the net.
All right, so that's a different perspective here. So where we are courtside broadcasting from, you can't see, but at the bottom of your screen, you'll see that camera. That's actually blocking Noah and I's view. So anything that's directly at the lower portion of the net, we're not going to see from our vantage point. So this replay will actually be the first time we've seen it either.
And that's why we have cameras and replay and challenges, to make sure we get this right.
All right, so let's take a look at this slowly. There in the middle.
It looks like there's a slight touch, but I don't know if it's enough. Well,
I didn't think Rojas touched it, but
it looks like just a little bit of a tap, and especially with the call on the floor being touch, there wasn't enough to overturn it the other way.
I mean, ultimately, the best view in the house is Patrick Bradley, our R1, who's standing in the chair looking right along parallel to the net. So he's got an even better view than the challenge system. So the point over to Philadelphia, they trail by 1. That's blocked back by Nelson, then a one-handed block back by Reynolds. Sent over Philadelphia, can they counter? Great pass by Feliz. Another block back, hands on everything Reynolds. He's just prowling the net. Here's Nelson. And ultimately, a long rally ends on a Nelson kill. Tooling the block, we're even at 13 apiece.
Nelson with the timely kill off the hands, starting to shift for the Founders. If you need a guy to end a rally, it's turning into Nelson.
And Guzzola from the back row. Cross up there between Lewis and Robinson. And Guzzola, well, since being inserted into this lineup, his first week with the Matadors, paying dividends here. He should be in double figures in kills now. He had 6 through 3 sets.
Definitely that second option behind Medina.
Oh, sneaky Ron Dunn with the ollie. Setter dump on 2.
And he might have probably the sneakiest setter dumps that I've seen so far this event, where he's very ominous about it, and he looks like he's set in the middle, and then whoop, just when you were sleeping, set it right over.
We've officially named, or at least I have officially named, the
Just
setter
you.
dump on 2 after Nick England's dog ollie. You know, the dump on the court.
Yeah, no one else calls it that, but we enjoy it. Remind us of Nick's friendly dog.
Little puppy,
Yeah.
the husky.
It's not a puppy anymore. It's a
No,
big
he's
boy.
a giant dog now.
Still
I don't
behaves
think
like
that
one,
ever
though.
went over.
And it looks like it did, and they're playing on.
Nelson draws the Matadors into the net. And no question about that one. 15-14 Philadelphia. And that will take us to our technical timeout in game number 4, becoming a much more competitive match than we envisioned earlier. Come back for the conclusion. And back courtside, this is a good one here in game 4. Can Philadelphia close it out in 4, or are we potentially going to have a chance for a reverse sweep?
Well, we just had a yellow card assessed to the Matadors, I believe, for a delay of game. That could be the only thing that I can fathom after that timeout.
Well, you're allowed one, y'all. If you get a second one, that's when it becomes a problem. Once it becomes a red card. Good serve from Reynolds, and then a sneaky tip there on 2.
Trying to match the slyness of Ron Dunn on those setter dumps. Valenu just tapping it backwards with his thumb, letting it fall.
Valenu is one of the rookies in the league this year. Payne read that well off the net, very patient. Nelson swinging away, misses wide. Did Feliz get a finger on it? Jordan Robinson and company were like, no doubt about it. Feliz is saying nothing.
Yeah, and that's one of those where it hit something, right? Was it either a hand or the net? Because you saw it change trajectories, you heard something, but how confident are you that was a hand versus just the top of the tape? And it seems like the Founders players very confident.
Yeah, they all reacted at the same time. They didn't even each other. It was immediate.
And from our vantage point, I heard and saw the same thing, and I've been wrong earlier today that I thought it was off a hand and it was off a net, so it is hard to see in real time. Again, that's why we have the benefit of these cameras, able to slow it down, find the point, and see if it made contact with a hand, a finger, an elbow, an earlobe, something like that.
I mean, an earlobe would count as a touch.
Yes, it would. You'd have a very impressive block if you're getting earlobe touches over the net. And we're on the review right now, so we can see zoomed in on the hands.
Ooh, it's hard to tell from that angle.
Yeah, not the best.
You don't see a snapback, right? From that angle, it looks like. Oh wait, look at the outside ring finger. Look at this again. The taped finger. Slow down, slow down. Look at this.
Okay, change it. This might be another helpful view here. So the triple block.
Look
up.
at Medina's left ring finger.
I've not seen a lot from that.
I don't know if it's enough.
And with Again, with the call on the floor being no touch, I don't think they're going to have enough to overturn it, even though I heard it and it's clearly above the height of the tape. I don't know if there's enough to overturn that call. And there's not.
And that's the problem. There very likely was a touch, but with a ball traveling that fast, you know, short of putting paint on the ball
Right.
and having your hands be literally red-handed, that would change the game.
That would change a lot.
That's an interesting idea. This came up with $1 million idea there, Noah. And Peter Namiotko ties it at 16.
It's not painted, but did you see the new AVP grass ball?
I have not.
It's a sort of vibrant light pink that's almost neon colored, I guess, to play when the sun's coming down a little bit to give it some more brightness and visuals to it.
Can they play with it at night, too? That would
Probably can. I mean, probably still can't see because it's not glow in the dark, but it's pretty bright. The AVP grass ball.
Nick West, if you're watching this game, you already have your glow in the dark. As Jeff Nelson just puts down a block down the line. Now you have your glow-in-the-dark skateboards. Could be an idea for you here.
That is
dark
true.
Volleyballs, night volleyball, could be our 5th or 6th different version of the game.
It could be. Well, I know this Founders team and the Freedom team will be using that grass AVP ball a lot. Big grass players over there on the East Coast with the Founders and the Freedom.
Glow-in-the-dark ball would also help if you want to play in the snow.
The Snow League.
Stab at it, but they cannot preserve it off the net. So the lead for Philadelphia off the block is short-founded.
And a scary moment there for Langston Payne, at least from our perspective. Non-contact, fell over trying to make a play on the ball. Just got himself tripped up. Nothing serious in terms of injury. But yeah, there was no one around him, just made a quick turn and fell over. So moments like that are a little scary. Looks like he just slipped.
Which is why they took the towel out to the court. Just make sure there's no extra perspiration out there. 17 all, 4th set. Matadors win this, we go to a 5th. Dunn runs it down. Namiotko destroys it. Peter Namiotko. Let's see if he can help put this team on his back in the final stages. 1-point lead for Philadelphia. Again, they are 0-3. They have yet to score a point. They haven't gotten past a 4th set in a loss yet. Reach out and stuff someone. Langston Payne teaming with Lewis. And the lead swells to 2.
And that's the strength of this team in this match right here. Setting your block, closing off all possible options for the hitter to go, except for your hands, and then back down.
Matadors going to utilize the timeout, try to steal this one and send it to a 5th when we return. I think my mic is finally back on so I can talk to you all again. 19-17 is the scores. We're back here in Long Beach, and what was probably the most important point of this set. Had the Matadors not gotten that kill from Angazola, it is 20-17, and it's probably too little too late. Now it's a 1-point set, and we will see Ricky Olea serving here to try to tie it at 19 apiece. And it won't happen. Peter Namiotko, what a difference he makes. We were talking about him as a potential man of the match. I mean, he's just been so consistent. Very few non-kills when he swings today. He's made virtually no errors, but non-kills. I'm talking about the 0 attempts. he swings, it's either going to be an error or a kill.
And with his height, he's getting above most of the block for the Matadors.
And that is wide. The lead swells to 3. It's 21-18.
And not insurmountable, but as you mentioned with that critical point, a 3-point lead with 20 or more points for one of the other teams, hard to come back from. There's not a lot of room to work with.
And if Payne is able to get a scoring point here, it looks like this one can all be but over. Take something off of it. Feliz, good pass. And that's a tool for Angazola. Had to have it. Got what he needed.
Matadors staying alive.
All right, so Ventura back in here. Leva back in. I think this is Leva's first appearance in the set.
Yeah, the reverse of the double sub we saw in that third set, putting these two who were starters back on the floor.
Christian Ventura, your server. Good pass by Jordan Robinson. Nemiotko just bombs away.
And a perfectly executed play from start to finish. Robinson with the perfect pass. Reynolds going up for the one ball, drawing the middle, leaving nothing but open space for Nemiotko. And now he can end this game from the service line with a couple points.
Last year playing for Chicago, Nemiotko showed some signs, but he really hadn't played this competitive level in a few years. Now, you saw the pass from him there. He's playing like an all-star for this Philadelphia team. It's 22-19. Nelson with a huge dig. They go to Nemiotko again. And for the first time in a long time, he gets blocked as Leva shuts the window to cut the gap to 2.
Phenomenal defense on both sides, especially by the Founders in the back row. But Leva with the final say on that one, blocking Nemiotko back to the middle of the court.
Now Nemiotko, based on the ball placement, couldn't get a full approach, and he actually only got 2 steps as he stopped before the line. We didn't want to commit a back row violation, so.
And that's great reading and footwork by Leva to see that in his approach and know exactly where he has to swing based on where he's taking off from.
Yeah, so many guys would have committed a foot fault in that spot. I mean, it's one of those things that even now playing just in adult leagues in New Jersey, where the pace of the game is so much slower, you find yourself difficult to be able to do that. Off the fingertips, Lewis gets the side out, 23-20. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I'm that close, I don't take anything for chances. I just stay on the ground and just do the one-step approach and just try to preserve the play. At this level, though, you can't do that. You can't give free ball type swings. Everything has to be high pace. We're going to keep it here, 23-20. For Philadelphia, again, you've seen this team. You're from the Philadelphia area, even if you live in Oregon full-time now. You've seen this team being built. A win today completely changes their trajectory for the rest of the year, because now not only do they have a win in the win column, they're starting to play with more and more confidence.
Absolutely. When you are a new team and you can't get a win, that's a huge monkey on your back or a weight on your shoulders, and you start to lose confidence in yourself. Like, do I belong here? Are we a good enough team? Even if the talent on the floor shows you are. Getting that first win can sort of snap you out of it, push you through that bubble and go, okay, we belong here, we're good and we know it, and we can win. But letting one like this slip through your fingers can do the almost opposite effect.
Only 3 teams without a win right now through the middle of the second weekend of the season. Philadelphia, Puerto Rico, and the LA Blaze. The Tyrants and New Jersey, the only unbeatens right now. Reach out and stuff someone. Reynolds and done. And game 4 is nearly done. Match point for the Philadelphia Founders.
When they needed it most, Dunn and Reynolds up there at the top of the tape.
Blocked back, but they got a touch by Medina, who swings away and gets the tool to keep this set and this match alive at 24-21. So this will be match point number 2, and it'll be Orlando Rojas to serve.
Great job to keep it alive, but their back's against the wall. 3 set points for the Founders.
Robinson with the pass. They go to Nemiotko. And they say there's a touch, and the Matadors are not going to challenge. And for the first time in their history, the Philadelphia Founders are in the win column as they hold on here in 4 sets today, winning the 4th set 25-21. And they beat the Inland Empire Matadors 25-19, 25-14, 25-27, and 25-21. Our second of 3 expansion teams gets their first ever W, and that puts the Puerto Rico Pythons on the clock.
Absolutely does, and this is a great win for that Founders team as we were going over. Something to get that confidence up, and you can see it in almost the relief, the body language is just, all right, we did it, we got that win. And it was a great fight when we saw the team attack it from many different directions. Pio Namioko in the first couple sets was the guy. Then Langston Payne attacking from the middle and playing defense from his middle block. And then we saw Jeff Nelson doing it, Michael Lewis doing it. There was a lot of different attack points, which is nice to see from this Founders team, which is maybe a little middle reliant in that first set.
Now Philadelphia is celebrating out on the court. We can go in a lot of different directions here for man of the match. We can go with Ron Dunn. We can go with Jeff Nelson. Peter Namiotko obviously would be a fan favorite with his performance today.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's Langston Payne. I think his emergence onto this team today, his first ever match with Philadelphia, of course, last year, stand out for the Southern exposure. Not only in the blocking game, he was consistent at the net, getting touches even when they weren't terminal. And when he got involved offensively, majority of the time, they were falling to the court for kills.
Absolutely, and this game sort of happened in phases, right? In those first 2 sets, Pio Namioko, man of the match for sure. He took over. Then the next couple sets, you saw Rondon have some great blocks, really spreading out the offense. It was him. Jeff Nelson took it to a point in that 4th set, saying, hey, early in the 4th set, I'm not losing this one. Let's go. Let's score some points. And then Langston Payne sort of consistently throughout the whole match, getting blocks, getting kills when he needed to, making an impact. And, hey, they didn't have him those first 3 events. Now they have him, or the first 3 matches. Now they have him, and now they get that win. And that's part of the reason why he's our man of the match. And he's standing by with Haley Henderson. Haley, take it away.
We have Langston Payne here with us. Sorry. We had 8 blocks and 8 kills in this match. Tell us about your debut performance.
Yeah, I just tried to get in here, keep the energy positive, and do what I can for my team. That's defense, get good blocks, good block touches. If that's being a decoy, I'll do that, do whatever I can.
Awesome. This is the first win for the Founders this season. What does that mean going into the next event for you guys?
Just more confidence, knowing that we can do this, we can compete. We're going to battle against anyone. We're going to go for it.
Awesome. Well, great game and fantastic performance. Great job. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Haley. Langston Payne is our man of the match here in Long Beach as the Philadelphia Founders are in the win column. Inland Empire Matadors, even in defeat, showing us something yet again as they find ways to stay involved in matches even when you expect them to fall out.
And they have the fight and they have the talent. The one thing as the Matadors you might want to reassess is how do we start the game? Are we ready to go from the jump? And this was a team that even their teammates mentioned that they weren't really, I don't want to say prepared, but they didn't know a lot about the Founders and they kind of got caught off guard. That can't happen in this league. You need to start from the jump. Even if you don't have the proper research or experience, you need to be a team that can react quickly. And it took them 1 too many sets.
And a word that Eric Valise mentioned after the first set was urgency. We didn't really feel it out of them until that 3rd set.
Yep.
And by then it was a little too late as the Founders say got 8 kills and 8 blocks from Langston Payne, 15 kills in 19 swings in 3 sets for Peter Namiotko, 79% rate. And got to give Jeff Nelson credit, 14 kills himself. And Ron Dunn led a defense and an offense today. Great on both sides of the ball. His offense hit 52% as a squad. And you know what? Let's give some credit also to Jordan Robinson.
Absolutely.
53% passing rate, no reception errors. A good day for him. Libero leading the defense for Philadelphia. For the Matadors, 13 kills. Medina came alive late and ended up in double figures yet again. Final thoughts on this one from you in your debut in the booth and not on the sideline, although we like you in both areas. What's your final thoughts on today's match?
Well, I do have to mention, and Langston Payne brought it up, some of the things not going in the stat sheets for him and Nate Reynolds are those times where they pulled the blockers, creating so much space for Namioko and for Nelson and for Lewis. so many times the passing by Jordan Robinson, giving them that opportunity to run and just be a decoy for the blockers. So a great game from both middles from that aspect. Definitely the strength of this Founders team. Final thoughts. I think this is a team, they're a work in progress in terms of having that championship pedigree, that winning pedigree, taking care of business when they need to. In terms of talent, in terms of ability, in terms of weapons, they're a force to be reckoned with. And I think as they go on throughout the league and throughout this season, they'll start taking down teams you might not expect.
Tell you what, when we're talking about top performers, when Nate Reynolds has a good match and we're not even mentioning his name, that shows the weapons that this team really does have. It's just a matter of how do they get them all cohesive, all at the same time. Today they got as close to that as we probably are going to expect. And if they play like this going forward, well, Philadelphia certainly is going to be a team that is going to be trouble for others in the rest of the season. We have one more match on tap for you today on the second day of our second weekend of the 2023 NVA season. That kicks off at 6 Pacific time and 9 Eastern as the Utah Stingers, the last team to play this week and had a bye yesterday, they'll take the court against a much improved Chicago Untouchable squad. So for Haley Anderson, Noah Chast here in the booth with me. What a pleasure that was, and our entire crew. I'm Ira Thor. We thank you for watching this one. Rejoin us for match number 4 at 6 Pacific coming up.